1 week from the sequester deadline. I'm wondering at this point if you think those cuts going into effect are inevitable, and what you're telling the Prime Minister and other world leaders about the impact that that would have on the global economy.
Well, I never think that anything's inevitable. We always have the opportunity to make the right decisions, and I've been very clear that these kinds of arbitrary automatic cuts would have an adverse impact on families, on teachers, on parents who are reliant on Head Start programs, on our military readiness, on mental health services, on medical research. This is not a smart way for us to reduce the deficit. I've also been very clear that there's an alternative, which is for us to take the kind of balanced approach that I presented, where we have more strategic cuts on programs we don't need, and we close some tax loopholes that are taken advantage of only by the well-connected and the well-off. By the way, that's what the majority of the American people prefer. So I will continue to have conversations with members of Congress, both while they're gone and when they get back next week. My hope is that we can see a different course taken by Congress. This should be a no-brainer. With respect to world leaders, I think that unlike issues like the debt ceiling, the sequester going into effect will not threaten the world financial system. It's not like the equivalent of the U.S. defaulting on its obligations. What it does mean, though, is that if the U.S. is growing slower, then other countries grow slower because we continue to be a central engine in world economic growth. So I don't think anybody would like to see this outcome. And particularly when we're poised to grow rapidly as housing comes back and we're starting to see real signs of the recovery taking root, it's the wrong prescription. But ultimately, I don't need to persuade world leaders of that. They know that. I've got to persuade members of Congress, and that can be harder sometimes.